That's right. I have finally reached a point where I still haven't gotten this. Those final boards, but they will be done easier. I've gotten most of the fence, I've got most of these other piles. I can't recall at this point because I'm starting to get quite, I haven't eaten properly or anything like that, so I'm starting to get, it's been long weeks. But I have reached a point where I don't think I'm actually physically capable of filling this one up in a way where, you see those rims there, they're starting to get increasingly difficult. Like, this is getting really hot, and it's getting difficult to get those smaller pieces shoved into the pyre without turning into ash. And this thing is still steaming all over the place, but I'm at this point don't care too much. Look how nasty this fire is. It's almost as I'm suspecting that I might end up with more coal from this batch than this, which is peculiar for the simple reason that that batch was made with a friend, and you would think that having two people would be twice as effective, but when two people are intoxicated, they are also inclined to having fun and talk and do shit and what have you, and so it doesn't happen as fast as, it doesn't go linearly, it goes exponentially lower. I'm not sure what the antonym for exponential would be, but that would be pretty much it. Of course, I am also quite intoxicated, but I'm not distracted at this point, so, and this is not so much work, it's actually quite fun, even if I'm really tired. I'm less stressed out about the time and all the stuff that I have to be concerned about tomorrow because, well, granted, a lot to do with alcohol, a lot to do with starting to get too tired to care, and also, you know, this is beautiful, and it's not done until it's done. It certainly serves no purpose putting this thing out right now. And since I don't have so much more to put on, it will be smaller pieces, and so the longer pieces that are remaining, you know, here I've been just letting the fire kind of chop them in two, and then I kick them in and they will burn because they're mostly boards, but I'm gonna need a few long pieces so I can, because even when it's just glowing embers, well, just glowing embers, it's still gonna be really damn hot. And I'm gonna, so what I'm trying to say is that, work may not be as productive and effective when there are more of you and you're not doing it for the sake of a job or anything else, but, you know, the work itself, well, if you're doing it for the work itself, it's not going to be as quickly and productive because it isn't the main goal, but it is a lot more enjoyable. You still get his shit done, and, you know, what is life? Work? If you're that kind of person, then I pity you. If you're also the type of person who would think life is just work, and it's also perfectly fine to be going after people and criminalizing them for something that is, oh, it's not legal, but it's still a drug, well then fuck you, because you're the kind of person that has no problem wielding state power and imprisonment and fucking harming people for something that is first and foremost not harming others, and it is a private matter. You who love the drug policies, you who think people should be criminalized for whatever damn reason, if they're not causing harm to others, leave them the fuck alone. And if not, well then fuck you. Speaking of which, now I'm gonna have something to smoke on. Speaking of smoking, no, unfortunately, the amount of cannabis available at the time being is not sufficient. However, I have come across some dried leaves. Yes, it's just leaves. You will get a headache by the time you actually get stoned, but it is a very good substitute for tobacco. I find it a lot more soothing and calming, and it also does, if you have a tendency to be liking to smoking a lot of cannabis, and you're feeling that urge to smoke cannabis, properly dried leaves, that will do, even from male plants. But if I were to be pursuing it more seriously in a way where you're completely replacing tobacco but you're still, shall we say, you're still smoking. You know, you're not vaping. So you're going to get all the byproducts that smoking entails, the chemical process of burning. You know, if it's perfect combustion, it's CO2 and water. But there's a lot more in wood smoke. We all know that. It has a cancerous effect as well. And so you may smoke the lawn, or you may smoke cannabis or crack cocaine. 80+ % of whatever you're putting on fire, well, that's going to become something else. Generally, thousands of byproducts in the process. But if, let's say, you were to be wanting to smoke and kind of not get high, but you kind of want to soothe that urge for smoking because, you know, you're one of those hopeless, irredeemable stoners like I am. Then yeah, actually, you know, fuck the detractors. I'm going to be the one who will tell you that, you know, you'd rather be having a few improvised ones of those leaves. But if you were to pursue it seriously, then a strong UVA light or just straight sunlight to degrade chlorophyll and subsequent nitrogen is probably a good one. However, considering that that can be time consuming and there is also some other issues with that process, my recommendation will be that you extract the chlorophyll chemically utilizing either ethanol or acetone, both which are natural organic compounds that you do not only just find readily available in nature, like ethanol, fruits, fermenting and whatever, or acetone, depending on a lot of things that ferment. We produce acetone in our bodies. So while most of the acetone we tend to be acquiring nowadays in modern times is industrial produced. Oh, damn. Even the clag went on me. They're usually asleep at this time, but I guess not. And the fire is clearly not deterring them. Stings. What was I saying? Yeah. You know, this fire is good looking. And that's why it's the camera of this phone is pointed at it and not me. And it's so good looking, in fact, that I am noticing this video is already reaching 8 minutes long. Okay, here I was telling myself this was just gonna be like a minute and a half. Bugs are biting me. I don't give a shit. I'm just rambling on with this fire, and there we go, stopping at the 8-minute mark, plus a couple of seconds. Bye.